Chase Rice talking about new music from a very tranquil setting, I must say. Where are you right now? It looks nice.
I'm at my house. Yeah, this is where I've been pretty much the entire time. It's starting to get old. I'm like, all right, this was cool for a minute. Now I'm like, all right, I kind of want to let's go tour or something. I got to get creative here.
That's what I'm hearing from almost everybody I know. They said it was great at the beginning because it was a nice break and you just had some downtime, but I think everybody's pretty much ready to get back out on the road.
Yeah, and I mean that's just come on, y'all. There ain't no reason to keep all these healthy people home for no reason at this point. I hear two different things. You hear you got to respect the people that can get sick. At the end of the day, though, it's like, all right, I'm ready to go to tour. Like, let's go. I created music. I made music. It's time to go. Let's play music live. And I don't know when they're going to let us, but as soon as they do legally let us, and we're not breaking any rules and doing whatever I'm going to go be playing live music.
Can't wait. Well, and you've got to be chomping at the bit because you released the album part 1 in January. So you've got those songs out and you want to get out and play those live for everybody. And then you've got, the album part 2 dropping. So yeah, you've got like this whole new body of work that you can't wait to play live. Did you get a chance to play many of those things live, Chase?
No, not at all. It was, we did the album part 1, then so the night we released that was in Amsterdam. That was the last, tour that we were on. And then we took a couple, I don't know, 3-4 weeks off, which was planned. And then we did the one Garth show. And that was the last show that I played. So we did the Garth show in Detroit, and then we've been done ever since. So it's this is weird. It's a crazy time. I'm ready to get back and play those songs live. I haven't been able to. I've never had a time in my career where we released music and then took this much time off. That was the plan the whole time, and then our plan was to release part 2 and tour. And we're sticking with the thoughts of releasing music. I'm not going to let this thing slow down what I'm releasing music or when I'm going to do it. I'm not going to let it control that. I'm going to put out new music, and that's the thing is music is spiritual. It's in our soul. It's like we have to have something like that to feel, and there's no reason to release music if you can't play it. Then you're just making music for yourself at some point. So it's time to go play live music, and as soon as they let us do it legally and we're not breaking any rules, I'm going to go play live music, and I'm excited to do that.
I'm excited to hear the new music live and watch you up there on stage. But we got to rewind a minute because you so casually just talked about, so the last place I played was with Garth and it was in Detroit. Like, just that's like me saying I just went to Publix and picked up a loaf of bread. So can we just talk about that for a second? That moment, that impact, watching that man. Because, I've seen him live so many times and there's nobody that can touch him live.
No, you're right. He's the best to ever do it, in my opinion. Elvis, the Beatles, Garth Brooks. I don't know too many people who are in that conversation. So, yeah, the best to ever do it. I learned a ton from him. It was awesome. Unbelievable opportunity. And the reason I could say that so casually is just like that literally feels like a lifetime ago. And it was only 2 months, I guess, 2 months ago, I think, since I've seen my band. So that would have been in February sometime. So maybe longer ago than that. I don't know. It's but that was an unbelievable opportunity to get to go see him do his thing. Not on stage. I've seen that before, but to see what made Garth Brooks really what made Garth Brooks. It's like I'm watching the Jordan documentary. You were getting a sneak peek into what made Jordan actual Michael Jordan, and so it was cool to get a sneak peek into Garth Brooks' world, Garth Brooks' mind, and who he is as a real person that made him who Garth Brooks is. That was pretty special.
It's so funny that you brought that up because literally right here, I'm like, are you watching the Jordan doc? I know you are, a North Carolina boy, so I know that you were in deep on this. And just being a former athlete, getting the insight and watching the way that his mind works, I feel like there are so many parallels to the way that you approach your music and the way that you've really started crafting what you want the rest of your legacy to look like. From writing songs to being in the writing room to figuring out how it works, you really kind of have that fundamental, you want to know each step of the process, not just go out and play music on stage.
Yeah, it's the most important thing ever. I mean, this is my life. This is my career. And eventually there'll be stuff down the road that's very important to me too. Hopefully, you know, family down the road, wife, kids, all that. But that's not where I am right now in my life. Right now, where I am is my music, and that's all that matters to me right now. In the grand scheme of things, obviously there's other stuff. You know, you got my niece and my nephew, my mom, my brothers. So that's obviously very, very important. But in the grand scheme of things, as far as my career goes, there's nothing that matters more to me than putting together the best group of songs, putting out the best music that I possibly can, because at the end of the day, none of this matters. All the fame, all the money, it's all BS. It doesn't matter. The music is what matters. And that's when I got that in my head and stopped thinking about, okay, yeah, the fame, the money and all that is cool. Yeah, none of that matters without the music and putting out the very, very best songs that I could possibly put out. So that's where I'm putting my focus right now.
I've seen it a couple of times in print that you said you feel like this is the beginning, that this is like a new beginning, a new chapter. But then you look at, all the things that you've already accomplished and all the things that you've already done. Why does this feel like a new beginning for you? And do you feel like you would have gotten here any other way? Like, was there something in your past that you wish you could have tweaked or changed?
Um, I mean, I'm not gonna say I wouldn't change anything. I think that's crazy. I would probably go back and I would focus more on the music for sure. But at the same time, I didn't. I don't know what I could have done different. There's no reason to look back at this point. I mean, would I change anything? Sure, but I can't. So the only thing that I can focus on from now on is how do I make the very best music that I can possibly make, and it's pretty simple. I mean, if that's what I focus on, the rest will take care of itself. Um, the funny part is you talk about Jordan. It's like the big difference is his life was a competition. I mean, he won and he lost. That's not what music is, and that's where my mind is like, ooh, this is a different animal than sports, because I played sports, and that looking at him and how I'm looking at my TV right now, I'm like, I just watched, I think, episode 8. Episode 8, and it's like everything was a competition to him. And music, the only thing that way I can kind of make it a sport in my mind is, all right, Eyes on You was cool. That was a special moment. Forget about that. That doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is the next song. And right now, the next song is Lonely If You Are. So we got to get that at the top of the charts, and we got to do it again. And it's not even about getting to the top of the charts, more about we got to get it the best that it can be, because there's so many different games that go into getting songs to the top of the charts. There's just so much more involved than it just being the best song. I think it should just be the best song should be up there. Simple as that. There's so many politics that are involved with this. If the song is selling, the song is streaming, that's what really matters. And the good thing is, Lonely If You Are is connected with people. It's streaming, it's selling, it's working. So let's get that as high as it can go, move on to the next one. And hopefully the next one, I don't even know if the next one's going to be off of part 1 and 2 of this album. We got part 2 coming out, but I got part 3 up in here too. So we'll see what happens. I did a song actually yesterday. I worked with Lee Bryce. So that was a lot of fun. It was my first time ever working with him. And he asked me to do it. I was like, that's awesome. I grew up listening to Lee. I love Lee, the Carolina boy. So we'll see what happens with that. There's another song we talked about with Morgan Wallen that I'm started piecing together. So we'll see what that one sounds like. But I'm excited to see what's the single's going to be to follow Lonely If You Are. It's going to have to top it.
That's the interesting part too. Like you said, now it's so different. It's such a different world. I mean, even, 2 years ago, it's a completely different landscape when we're talking about releasing this music and getting it out there. And I think you really have been one of the people at the forefront of, if it's a good song and I like it and I think it's ready, you put it out there for your fans. And I think that you really, you've been one of the first to do that, not wait and, hold it and do this whole prepackaged thing. What do you think that is going to look like going forward, especially like, let's say that the landscape doesn't change that much and maybe we can't get together and have these crowded venues just yet. Are you already in your head like thinking, okay, if that doesn't work, we can't do that? Do you have another plan of getting that music to people or playing it for them live?
No, and that's the scary part. I think if it continues to just be on a phone, there's no point to this. It's like sports, music, everything. There's no point to doing it with sports. I guess you can, because there's still a winner or a loser. Music is not about that. Music is about looking people in the eyes. Music's about seeing people's hands in the air. It's about hearing their voice sing your song back to you, and then you singing it the very best you can because these people paid money to see you play it. So if it continues like this, there's no point. There's no point to music, period, in my opinion. Then it's just writing songs for my TV screen or writing songs for my iPhone, and that's not going to be acceptable to me. I will go play live music, and everybody will, and this will end. I mean, it's going to end at some point. I mean, we got to go live our lives. At the same time, that's why I'm doing this right now. That's why I'm not taking my foot off the gas, because it's going to end. And that's what people got to understand. This isn't going to be this way forever. So I'm going to put out new music. And the time when we do finally get back, I'm going to be playing a whole new set of songs to these people. And it's going to be the best music that I've ever put out. That's my opinion. I think it is anyway. So let's keep putting out music. Let's keep putting out songs. I think after part 1 and 2, I'm going to put out acoustic versions of part 1 and 2. That's one cool thing about this. And it's forced me to do all these acoustic shows for, Instagram or Facebook or whatever it is. So I'll start implementing that into the set. It's going to be me and a guitar on stage at some point, and then maybe me and a guitar on stage before I can bring the band out. I don't know what that's going to look like, but I'm going to keep putting music out. I'm going to keep writing songs. I'm going to keep figuring out ways to be creative in the meantime, but this will end, and music will be sung live again. And I'm excited for that day.
So am I. Very excited about it. Listen, thank you so much for talking to us. Can't wait to see you out live. Congrats on all the good stuff that's going on in your life. And hold on tight. That Jordan documentary, I just finished it the other night. It's good. With all of it, you're like, I want more. I want to see more of what happened. So hopefully we'll get some more of it.
I know. I love the way he looked at life. I love the way he looked at competition. It was just like, no, I'm going to beat you. And if you have a problem with it, that's your problem, not mine. And I respect that so much. And I wish sometimes I could bring that mentality into music. It doesn't work as well in this industry, but hey, I'll keep making music, and that's all I can control. So yeah, it was good talking to you though.
It's so good talking to you. We can't wait to see you at the top of the charts. We'll be celebrating with you.
Now, by the way, this Friday, first time I've ever put out an album when I'm not on the road. I'm always on the road. So I've had this quarantine crew that I've hung with, and this could very well be my last group of music that I ever put out, because this could get dangerous on Friday night. It's gonna be a blast. And all joking aside, I'm excited to celebrate at home. I'm excited to celebrate finally putting new music out, and I'm gonna be putting a lot of new music out throughout the next 18 months. So I'm excited about it, and we'll see what Friday holds.
Be safe, take it easy, and Instagram it all so we can watch and live vicariously through you.
There should be no cameras allowed for Friday. It could get out of hand.